So our final presentation of today is on transformation change management. It will be given by Issam Absi, Director of Global BIM Management for Infrastructure Projects Certification Program. A civil engineer and BIM expert, Issam has worked on some significant projects here in the Gulf region, including Dubai Mall, Abu Dhabi's International's Midfield Terminal, and the Riyadh Metro project. Issam is going to present on two of the key obstacles that companies quite often face when digitalizing their processes, which is the social and human challenges, which we have talked about a little bit today, and secondly, economy and technology related challenges. So Issam, please, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Rob, for the introduction. And I would like to thank RIB, CCS for organizing this event. And also I would like to thank the presenters for giving such valuable information before me. And thank you so much for the participants for making this event as successful as it is now. I would like to share with you a small presentation and our experience about the challenges that we have faced when we embark BIM and digital transformation journeys in our organizations. This is my presentation. Just to give you a small brief about our background, we have started BIM and digital transformation journey since 1997. We have emerged from a contractor, an international contractor, who was specialized in delivering infrastructure and oil and gas projects in the Middle East and Africa and the CIS countries. This was ranked top construction companies worldwide. Since that time, we have understood the value of digital transformation and BIM. And that's why we have increased the capacity of our resources and our organization. And at the beginning of 2020, we had almost 240 BIM professionals from between fresh graduates and 30 years of experience, diversified skills and capabilities in the field of construction and different fields and different functions of construction, infrastructure, oil and gas, civil projects and buildings. And of course, we have a very strong team of automation and IT systems. Of course, as you could see from our project portfolio of projects, we have worked on many countries in the world, in North Africa and the Middle East, CIS countries, and Asia. And our projects was from medium-sized to mega-scale projects. One of the biggest implementation we have done for BIM is the Midfield Terminal building in Abu Dhabi and the Riyadh Metro in Saudi Arabia. Now coming to a very important topic, what are the challenges and obstacles we faced when we came and we embarked the BIM journey in our organization or with the supply chain in general. The first challenge was availability of competent resources who do understand the real business of BIM in practice, how they can manage projects, how they can tackle designs, how they can understand the workflow and leverage information management and digital transformation and construction. So we could really we found it really difficult to find good competent resources in this field specifically. The second challenge has to do with the change of the mindset of the construction team. You know, construction industry is a very old industry. It has a lot of very experienced, qualified engineers who have lived their lives and doing business, doing construction the way they think it's the best. And it's too difficult to change the mindset of those experienced, knowledgeable project managers and construction managers. So this is a very tough challenge. Of course, also there is a cultural change. How can those who are using traditional workflows for design, 2D drawings, reading drawings, printed, how we can change their culture to accept digital workflows, digital methods, and using tablets and similar tools for managing and running the construction. And there is a very important fear that we have realized during our journey is that this social fear of the unknown, this fear of losing my job, the fear of embarking something that I might fail to. This is really a challenge for the whole society. And we realize it is very important to manage and transfer this fear from a negative side to a positive side. When you work in digital transformation and when we embark the BIM journey, it's very important to understand that all the stakeholders will go to an era of transparency, where everything is clear, obvious, monitored, and planned ahead. So this transfer from non-transparent environment, traditional workflow, to a very transparent digital workflow is really a challenge. This is from the human side perspective. On the other side, we have realized that technology is an obstacle, and it is not an obstacle with the real meaning of an obstacle, but technology is moving very fast. We are running behind technology, trying to catch the technology, trying to apply it to the construction field. The distance between the construction field and the technology is really big, and this distance is increasing. So it's a challenge how to bridge the gap between technology providers, between the technology and the construction field. Of course, competition between software vendors, software suppliers is an issue. And I think this needs to be addressed because it is affecting the interoperability, which will come to it as one of the challenges, is affecting interoperability of the utilization of information between the supply chain stakeholders. And this brings us to the interoperability issue. And how can we manage this problem within our construction and within our supply chain of any construction? As you know, there's so many stakeholders in the business. There's a lot of players, designers, contractors, facility managers, operators. And as such, how can we make sure that the information generated from one stakeholder to the other is transferred properly in the correct format and can be read, as one of my colleagues said, entered once, utilized to the rest of the supply chain. And then to be able to convince the industry that embarking BIM and digital transformation for the construction will bring benefit to the whole supply chain. How can we quantify this? How can we create meaningful ROIs that can push the decision makers, the owners, whoever in this process to go and invest and believe that whatever any investment he is going to add to the process will bring a value and a true value to the whole process. And we cannot, of course, pass the importance of standards and the problem that the standards are also lacking behind when everything is moving very fast, and yet standards are still could not really shape a framework that everybody can work with and can deliver his part of the process of his information part, his design part, his construction part in a standard way where everybody can understand. We still find it too difficult to find a correct standard that can absorb all the supply chain needs, all the functions of a project, especially that we understand that the construction process is really is complex and complicated. Last is the economical part, the pressure that we are all living because of the recession, the difficult economical conditions that the whole society is living. How can we absorb that? And how can we invest in technology in the time that there is an economical recession? And as an answer for all these challenges, we believe that proper education comes as the hero who can, I believe, as the savior for every part of these challenges, more or less. And I have heard education and knowledge transfer through all the day-to-day. And I can just assure you that from our experience, the only way the whole supply chain can embark this journey safely, properly, and with proper targets, proper achievements, is by offering massive proper education to all the stakeholders in this business, whether from the early life cycle phase of design through construction until handing over and then running and operating the facility for many years to come. So we always believe that proper education is the answer for all these challenges. That's why 10 years ago, we have established our BIM Academy. This BIM Academy has emerged from the construction field, understands what are the construction pains, the problems in construction. It's a one-year education that was given to our engineers and our partners to help them understand and be ready to work on the construction site using BIM properly, absorbing the workflows, and they can be the central point, the focal point for disseminating the information or the knowledge to the rest of the stakeholders. From this academy, we have graduated almost 300 engineers, and those engineers are well fit in the project operations. They can understand properly all the ingredients that are necessary to deliver value from information management. This is some photographs of the students or engineers who have joined the BIM Academy. This is some sample of the projects that they delivered completely using a complete comprehensive BIM process from design through construction until handing over. Of course, we were supporting this classroom education with site visits, and we were relating all the workflows that they see digitally in a classroom to what's happening in the construction field. And definitely, since this education was very successful and effective, we thought it's very wise to disseminate this knowledge widely by going online. So 4 years ago, we had translated or converted this BIM Academy education to an online master certification with the collaboration of one of the reputable online service providers. This was 4 years ago. In this master degree, we cover different paths of construction, such as roads and highways, railways and metro lines, tunnels and bridges, underground utilities or subsurface utilities, and of course, buildings. This master degree has been recognized, accredited by different reputable organizations, such as University of Barcelona, Ziggurat, Global Institute of Technology, CIAT, and BRI, and many others. Thank you so much for listening, and I will leave the floor. I'm giving a chance for questions and answers. Thank you so much.
Hi, Issam. So interesting, you have the BIM Academy. You're talking about introducing that kind of 3D modeling to more and more people, and we're seeing it used really quite widely now. Are you seeing some of the more advanced versions of BIM being used, as in 4D, 5D, 6D, so sequencing, cost, and project lifecycle? Are those increasingly being used now?
Yes, actually they are, and it's part of the education is to provide the engineer with all these tools, how to use planning, not only as a 4D sequencing, but as really a planning tool, how to use BIM for scope management, which is known as 5D, how to use BIM for green building initiatives and sustainability, which is known as 6D, and then how to integrate all this with the facility management process and operation and maintenance of buildings, which is known as 7D. So actually, during this education, we are giving the students, or the engineers actually, they are professionals, all the tools that makes them capable of understanding and utilizing BIM for the full life cycle of the project, including what you have mentioned, 4D, 5D, 6, and 7D.
And are you seeing, because again, a couple of the previous presentation, Leon mentioned that there was only, I think he said something like 0.4% value of claims, something like that in the project he was talking about. One of the things that often BIM is talked about on is that idea that you can reduce claims, that you can actually start to see, you know, it gives you the evidence, if you like. But you have to get everybody involved much earlier. So are you seeing more and more clients, contractors, subcontractors, subcontractors? Are you seeing, and the functions within them, getting involved much earlier now in that planning stage?
Absolutely. Actually, we lived the experience of leveraging BIM for claim management. And actually there was, so it was a step that made the client, the contractor and subcontractors avoid going to the court by seeing a scientific way of proving, and it is transparent. You know, part of the challenges we talked about was transparency. So it is a transparent tool that is, everybody is believing in that transparency. They can use it as a scientific proof of the right of each and every of the party of the supply chain. The client understands that he is paying exactly what he has to pay, and the contractor is receiving exactly what he is eligible to receive. So I think it is a very good way to reduce claims, reduce conflicts between the whole supply chain, if it is embarked and you know, if it is you know, believed by all the stakeholders.
And of course,
yeah.
And of course, if it's used early, it's also an opportunity to identify things like potential clashes and etc.
Yeah, yes, true. In the midfield terminal building, we have used BIM to substantiate a big claim, and the client paid the claim, you know, with very satisfied that he is seeing and he is paying for what he believes it is the right of the contract.
Okay, final question. Actually, we have a question that's just come in, so let me ask you that. With reduced project durations, I find that a full BIM design seems to take a lot of time, with the models only being completed after construction has started. This voids the benefits of the planning benefits of BIM. How do you manage this? I mean, surely I would have thought that you actually want your models ready before, because you have to have them ready at that planning stage.
Exactly. This is the part of the misperception by a lot of the industry stakeholders. The problem of having BIM late in the project makes it, you know, it loses a lot of the value that it could do. So in all our projects, we do have our designs ready before the construction starts. At least you can have portion of the design that is about to start ready. So you can use it for clash detection, scope management, and so on, the handing over process. And as you go, you can build the rest. But you cannot start with a construction process without having at least something that you can use, and it is quality information that can substitute the absence of other traditional techniques. Otherwise, they will use traditional techniques, and you will lose the value of them.
Okay, yeah, paper instead of 3D models.
Exactly, something like this.
Okay, wonderful. Issam, thank you very much for your presentation. Very interesting, and good to see you really pushing the use of BIM. It's certainly, I know globally it's widely used. Here in the Middle East, it is used. It's definitely being used more, but it could definitely still be used even more.
I totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree. Thank you so much also for moderating this whole event. And thanks so much for organizing the event. Thank you so much.